Alright everybody, welcome to my assignment 5, revisions and rationale. For this task analysis I did long division, or just kind of division in general, but with a focus on more long division for 2-digit numbers. Alright, so the first question, do the tasks yield appropriate evidence of the identified understanding? I think yes, in my opinion. The whole assignment was based around learning how to do division, more importantly long division. So to be able to show evidence of identified understanding, they need to be able to identify what the divisor is, what the dividend is, and then the quotient. So what's getting divided by what, and then pretty much what's the answer, but in more like math terms essentially. And then the steps in which you need to solve it. So like the how many, pull it down, or how many, subtract, pull it down, how many, subtract, pull it down until you get your zero or remainder. So I think yes, there was a clear identified understanding in that one. Do the tasks involve a complex real-world application? Long division itself, I don't think there is a huge real-world application, because it's never going to be as simple as that. But division focuses on numbers. It teaches them to solve real world problems involving number allowed versus like number they have. So they can do unknowingly they can do division problems in their head. You walk in and you need to save seats. How many people do you have? And then how many seats are available? And then you can do simple math problems like that without even realizing you're doing form of division or long division. Like I said, long division is kind of hard for real world applications. So yes and no on this one. Are a variety of appropriate assessment formats used to provide additional evidence of learning? Yes, in my assessments or activity, on the first day, had them work by themselves for a series of problems, getting as far as they can in a certain amount of time. After that time is up, you then transition to group practice, where essentially someone volunteers to go solve the problem on the board, and it keeps going problem by problem through it until you work through the series of questions that they were working on by themselves. This allows them to kind of see other people do it and also test their knowledge of it. And then finally on the day 2 of it, they were doing partner practice. So essentially it's them and one other, and all these different forms of assessments. And then obviously I had worksheets as well as my my activity itself. So I think that yes, there are multiple forms of assessment to really help them here. Are the students given the opportunity to self-assess and reflect upon their learning and performance? Yes. At the end of each day, they were able to write questions and approach the teacher. Also, the group work, where one person volunteered to go up front and do the problems, allowed for them to kind of self-assess their abilities and not having to embarrass themselves in front of people. They can kind of see others work the problem and see if they were doing it properly and how they were handling it and if they knew the proper steps. So I think that is kind of the big breakdown on self-assessing. What I would do differently or change to improve this one with my revisions is I would kind of try and find a more real-world application. I made mine casino style, to where they're using decks of cards to basically they'd have a dealer and then they'd have a player. Essentially, the dealer would flip over 2 cards for your math problem. So you flip over the 4 and 5, you have 45, and then the player would flip over their card and they can get anything in that. And then they'd use their decks of cards to solve it down. It gave them a chance to really play with it, but like I said, not huge real-world application, so I would find some way to really improve that. I don't think there is any great ways of real-world application for this assignment, or for this task analysis on long division, but there are definitely ways that you could show kind of how it can mirror into the real world, or just kind of different things like that. So here's my references. Thank you for this semester, and hope everyone has a good summer break.